Everything I've tried to do for the past 50 years has been with our children and grandchildren in mind. The most beautiful thing about all of this is that I call it Prince George's legacy. That's Prince George's job. Ultimately, it's the grandchildren who will inherit. There are moments in life that seem to stop time, moments when the world shrinks to a single breath, a single heartbeat. For Catherine, Princess of Wales, that moment occurred in a quiet, dimly lit room at Sandringham, where a frail but resolute King Charles III shared the contents of his will. Sources close to the royal family whisper of a scene so moving it would have brought even the ever-reserved Princess of Wales to tears. King Charles, on what many believed to be his deathbed, announced that the majority of his vast fortune would be given to Catherine's children, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis. More than that, he described the future roles each would assume, cementing their place in a monarchy poised for transformation. What could have so moved Catherine about that announcement? Was it the weight of fortune, the immensity of responsibility, or something even more personal? It wasn't just about money or titles. It was a grandfather's love, a king's legacy, and a mother's hopes for her children's future. As we unravel this emotionally charged milestone, prepare to see the royal family in a new light. Stay with us, and don't forget to share your thoughts on this touching story as we explore what really happened behind the palace walls. The bond between King Charles and his grandchildren has always been special. From shared moments at Highgrove, where Charles taught George about environmental conservation, to games in the garden with Charlotte and Louis, he was more than a monarch to them. He was their Grandpa Wales. But with his health reportedly failing, sources say Charles has been undergoing cancer treatment since February 2024. The king's focus turned to the future. His decision to entrust his fortune to William and Catherine's children was not just a legal act. It was a deeply personal gesture, and one that took even Catherine by surprise. Charles's fortune is not modest. Estimates suggest that his personal assets, including investments, properties, and the Duchy of Lancaster, could exceed £2 billion. While much of the crown's assets are tied to the monarchy, Charles's private wealth, built over decades of careful management, represents a legacy few can comprehend. For Catherine, hearing that this fortune would largely bypass the senior royals and go directly to her children was a moment of overwhelming pride and quiet dread. Picture the scene. A private chamber, the air thick with the scent of old wood and history. Charles, his voice firm despite his frailty, outlined his wishes. George, at 12, would inherit the majority, with funds set aside for his future as king. Charlotte, 10, and Louis, 7, would receive significant shares, ensuring their independence and security. But it wasn't just about numbers. Charles also spoke about their roles. George as the future monarch, Charlotte as a potential global ambassador for the monarchy, and Louis as a free spirit who could redefine what it means to be the reserve. Catherine's tears weren't for the fortune. They were for the knowledge that her children, still so young, were being entrusted with a legacy that would shape the monarchy for decades to come. Royal observers point out that Catherine has always prioritized normalcy in raising her children, raising them at Adelaide Cottage with school trips and muddy boots. However, this announcement thrust them into the spotlight from which she had always tried to shield them. But in Charles's eyes, she saw something more. Trust. Trust in her and William to guide their children through this unprecedented responsibility. Catherine, Princess of Wales, is no stranger to duty. Since marrying Prince William in 2011, she has balanced royal life with a strong commitment to family. Her parenting style, present, realistic, and focused, has won hearts around the world. Whether dropping Charlotte off at Lambrook School or whispering words of encouragement to Louis during the Trooping the Color parade, Catherine's love for her children shines through in the smallest gestures. But this moment hearing Charles's will tested her in ways she hadn't expected. As Charles spoke, Catherine's mind was likely racing. She had always been the rock, the one holding everything together. During her own battle with cancer, announced in March 2024, she shielded her children from public view, dealing with their fears privately. Now, she faced a new challenge: preparing George, Charlotte, and Louis for a future in which their roles and wealth would define them in ways even she could not foresee. An insider described Catherine's reaction as a mixture of pride and vulnerability. Reports suggest she held William's hand, a silent gesture of acknowledgement of the journey ahead. Their partnership has always been a strength: William, the future king, and Catherine, the power behind the throne, as some call her. Together, they redefined royal parenting, prioritizing emotional intelligence over rigid protocol. But this moment was a reminder that his children's paths, though carefully cultivated, would soon belong to the world. King Charles's will was more than a division of wealth. It was a detailed plan for the futures of Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis. Each child, despite their young age, was assigned a role that reflected their unique personalities and the changing needs of the monarchy. For Catherine, hearing these plans was like watching her children enter history, their paths illuminated by a grandfather's vision and a mother's love. Prince George, at 12, represents the future king. Charles's fortune will fund his education at the finest institutions, possibly Eton and Oxford, and support his early philanthropic projects, such as conservation initiatives inspired by his grandfather's passion. Insiders say Charles sees George as a modernizer, capable of simplifying the monarchy without losing its essence. His quiet confidence, evident in moments like his firm stance during King Charles's coronation, reveals a boy preparing for duty. Still, Catherine ensures he remains grounded, encouraging nightly conversations about school and football to balance the weight of his destiny. 10-year-old Princess Charlotte is seen as a global ambassador, a role that echoes Princess Anne's diplomatic skills. Charles envisions her as a bridge to younger generations. Her poise and empathy shone at events like the Chelsea Flower Show, where she charmed attendees with thoughtful questions. Her share of the fortune will support language studies. French and Spanish are already underway, and international relations, preparing her for global succession. Catherine cultivates Charlotte's self-confidence with gentle guidance, from whispered tips at Wimbledon to shared laughs during ballet lessons, ensuring that her daughter's natural charisma remains her greatest strength. Royal watchers highlight Charlotte's ability to calm her siblings, a quality that could help her unite diverse audiences in the future. 7-year-old Prince Louis represents a bold reinterpretation of the backup role in the line of succession. Charles's will grants him flexibility, with funds to explore passions like environmental advocacy, inspired by family visits to Highgrove Gardens, or even a non-royal career focused on innovation. This freedom reflects William and Catherine's belief that Louis should forge his own path, free from the burden of tradition. His endearing antics, like imitating Charles on the balcony of Buckingham Palace, show a child full of life. But his quieter moments, like holding Catherine's hand during the Trooping the Color, reveal a depth that can still surprise. Catherine encourages Louis's creativity, fostering art projects and outdoor adventures, aware that her role could redefine what it means to serve the monarchy. These roles, though grand, come with challenges. Catherine's heart aches at the public exposure her children will face, a reality she herself has experienced since announcing her battle with cancer. Still, she sees Charles's will as a gift, a confirmation of his parenting, and a promise that his children will have the resources to shape a monarchy that is both enduring and humane. Every family cherishes life's milestones, those fleeting moments that symbolize growth, change, and love. For Catherine, Princess of Wales, these moments with Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis are deeply personal, yet also eternally public. Etched into the hearts of a watching world, the announcement of King Charles's will, entrusting his fortune and legacy to his grandchildren, was a milestone in itself. but it builds on years of smaller, quieter achievements that have shaped the Wales family. Catherine's tears that day at Sandringham reflected not only the weight of the future, but the journey that brought them there. Consider George, now 12, assuming his role as second in line to the throne. His first public wave at the 2015 Trooping the Colour in William's arms was a shy gesture that sparked global admiration. At 10, he was already shaking hands with dignitaries at Wimbledon. His shy smile gave way to a quiet confidence. Catherine often speaks of guiding George through his destiny, balancing royal duties with childhood pleasures like soccer and baking. Every step matters. His first solo engagement in 2023 at a children's hospice and his serene demeanor at King Charles's coronation revealed a boy transforming into the role of future king, guided by his mother's steady hand. Charlotte, at age 10, transformed from a shy child into a graceful young royal. Her confident bow at Queen Elizabeth II's funeral in 2022, at just 7, stunned the world with its elegance. That moment, under the weight of the global gaze, revealed a strength Catherine cultivated with whispered encouragement and gentle guidance. Charlotte's milestones are often relational. She is Louis's whisperer, calming her younger brother with a touch or a smile. Her first day at Lambrook School, hand in hand with George, marked the transition from nursery innocence to a more visible role. Her red coat and radiant smile symbolized independence. At the 2024 Chelsea Flower Show, Charlotte asked thoughtful questions about sustainability, reflecting Charles's passions and hinting at her future as a global envoy. Louis, the family's spark, at 7, brings a lightness to each milestone. His balcony antics during the Platinum Jubilee in 2022, covering his ears during the plane ride, mimicking Charles's waves, won hearts around the world. Yet his quieter moments, like holding Catherine's hand during a carol service in 2024, reveal a child learning to navigate his role. His first public speech, a brief thank you at a charity event in 2025, was a triumph that Catherine celebrated with a radiant smile, knowing how much her free spirit had matured. Catherine's own journey lends depth to these milestones. Her cancer diagnosis in March 2024 tested her resilience. Still, she protected her children, turning hospital visits into small adventures to ease their fears. Her remission in January 2025 was a family milestone celebrated with a peaceful picnic at Adelaide Cottage. Through her work with early childhood development, Catherine dedicated her heart to giving her children tools to flourish: empathy, curiosity, strength. Each milestone, from George's first wave to Charlotte's curtsy to Louis's speech, reflects her belief that love, not protocol, shapes a legacy. These moments, small and grand, formed the foundation of Charles's trust in his grandchildren. Catherine's tears were for the memories, the first steps, the laughter, the growth, and also for the future, where these milestones would guide them forward. It is a story of maternal pride, of family bonds, and of a monarchy evolving through the hearts of its youngest members. King Charles's decision to entrust his vast fortune to his grandchildren marks a pivotal moment in the monarchy's evolution. A bold step toward a future where tradition and transformation go hand in hand. With his health weakened after a cancer diagnosis in February 2024, Charles turned his attention to continuity, ensuring that the Wales family is prepared to lead a modernized institution. Palace sources describe this gesture as a legacy moment, that of a king aware of his mortality and determined to ensure the monarchy's relevance in a rapidly changing world. For Catherine, Princess of Wales, this transition is deeply personal. She is not just a mother preparing her children for their roles. She is the central link in redefining royalty itself. Her influence, often understated, is profound. From her work with child development to her serene appearances at global events, Catherine combines warmth with authority, earning her the nickname, the power behind the throne. Sources close to her report that Catherine and William are assembling a trusted team, composed of advisors, communicators, and philanthropists, to guide the monarchy's next chapter. This team, built on loyalty and a shared vision, reflects the couple's commitment to a leaner, more accessible royal family. Charles's decision to prioritize George, Charlotte, and Louis over senior royals signals a strategic shift. By directing his wealth to the next generation, he strengthens the line of succession while giving his grandchildren the resources they need to innovate. This goes beyond financial security. It's about empowering Wales's children to redefine the role of the monarchy, perhaps by expanding its philanthropic impact or embracing digital platforms to connect with younger audiences. George, as future king, will inherit a throne structured to function more efficiently. Meanwhile, Charlotte and Louis will be able to usher in new ways of serving, free from the constraints that constrained the reserves of the past. This decision also carries emotional weight. Charles knows well the pressures of royal life. His complex relationships with William and Harry are proof of the cost of obligation. By offering his grandchildren freedom and resources, he is offering what he and Diana dreamed of: the chance to serve without being consumed by duty. Catherine, who faced her own battle with cancer in 2024, understands this sacrifice. Her subtle guidance, visible in moments like her reassuring Louis at the Trooping the Color or the proud glances exchanged with William during Charlotte's elegant appearances, reveals a mother who leads with love, not protocol. The monarchy's transition is not without its challenges. With public scrutiny heightened by social media, the demand for transparency grows, and global challenges demand a monarchy that transcends its ceremonial role. Catherine and William are heeding this call, embodying a partnership that combines strength and modern values. As King Charles's health raises discrete concerns, the couple's efforts to prepare intensify, with Catherine's compassion shaping a monarchy at once intimate and majestic. This family is undergoing a transformation, driven by a mother's care and a king's vision, ready to lead the crown into a new chapter. As they look to the future of George, Charlotte, and Louis, King Charles's legacy offers a hopeful glimpse, a future full of possibilities, defined by duty, freedom, and love. Catherine's tears at Sandringham were not just about that moment, but about the years to come. A future filled with milestones like graduations, first public speeches, and private moments of doubt or success within the palace walls. She envisions her children carrying on their grandfather's legacy. At just 12 years old, Prince George is already taking his first steps into the role of future king. His calm and reserved nature, reflected in the steady gaze reminiscent of William's during public appearances, suggests a young man being groomed for leadership. Charles's inheritance will give him the means to modernize the monarchy, possibly promoting causes like sustainability, a passion they both share. However, it's not just about duty. Catherine and William are raising George to also value life's simple pleasures, like bike rides around Adelaide Cottage or late-night talks about homework, helping him stay grounded despite his royal destiny. 10-year-old Princess Charlotte exudes confidence and is poised to redefine what it means to be a royal. She's already demonstrating quiet leadership, gently guiding Louis and exchanging knowing glances with George during official events. Charles sees Catherine as an ideal global ambassador, a role that seems perfectly suited to her. Imagine her in the future speaking at the United Nations or organizing charity events, her elegance and empathy captivating audiences around the world. Still, Catherine's influence ensures that Charlotte will follow her own path. Whether pursuing a career in diplomacy or opting for a more private life, her parents offer her the freedom to dream beyond traditional royal expectations. Prince Louis, the vibrant and joyful presence of the family, has a future still open, and that's part of his charm. At just 7 years old, his balcony's waves and mischievous smiles are already winning hearts. According to Charles's wishes, Louis has a blank canvas to paint his own story, whether by following his grandfather's passion for environmental causes, possibly studying marine biology or choosing a path outside the royal sphere, such as art or adventure. William and Catherine's parenting philosophy revolves around freedom of choice, meaning Louis can redefine the role of reserve by combining purpose with his own individuality. While these futures seem grandiose, they are built in the simplest, everyday moments. Imagine Catherine tucking Louis into bed and telling stories about his great-grandmother's courage, or William teaching George about the stars on a cold Norfolk night. It's in these intimate moments, away from the public eye, that the children of Wales develop their inner strength. Catherine's tears reflected a mother's hope that her children will face life with the same resilience she demonstrated, especially during her cancer journey, announced in March 2024 and overcome in January 2025. As royal followers, we've followed this journey from William and Catherine's wedding in 2011 to the birth of their 3 children, each moment marking a new chapter in a modern fairy tale. We've seen the couple face everything from intense public scrutiny to personal health challenges, always handling it all with dignity. Now, through Charles's will, we witness a pivotal moment where a grandfather's trust and a mother's care are helping to shape the future of the monarchy. This is a story about legacy, but also about opportunity, a reminder that, even amidst royal duties, family remains the priority. What has been your most memorable moment with the Wales family? Perhaps Charlotte's graceful curtsy at Queen Elizabeth's funeral, or Louis's playful demeanor during the Trooping the Colour? Share your thoughts below and tell us how this story touched you. For more heartwarming royal stories, stay tuned. Soon, we'll bring you another behind-the-scenes look at palace life that might surprise you.